Howdy. This week we're looking at The Lord Heals, and I'd like to talk a bit about John chapter 5. Jesus goes down to the pool at Bethesda, and he sees someone who has had a physical ailment for 38 years. Doesn't go into a lot of details, but we get the idea that this particular person has not been able to walk. Now, with all of this is that we see a term that's used in our translation, and that term is invalid. This is a term that can be very loaded because it creates an idea that when a person has a physical ailment like being unable to walk, it makes them not valid. So being invalid, being not valid, is associated with being unable to walk and with other types of ailments as well. Now, this term reveals one of the biggest reasons why it is that Jesus comes up to heal the man. Now, the thing is that we don't know why God heals some people and doesn't heal others in the same way. What we see is that in this particular story, Jesus is trying to get a point across. Now, some people have said that 38 years, which is how long the man had been unable to walk, might have been representative of how long it took the children of Israel to leave Mount Sinai and get to the promised land. I mean, it's possible. That's some speculation, but we don't know for sure. But what we do know is that it's a really, really long time. To feel that after 38 years that a person has been unable to walk, it has defined him. This has been basically his life for almost 4 decades. So when a person has gone through something for almost 4 decades, it's very hard to see yourself as anything beyond that. The thing is that the healing that comes from God, especially in Christ Jesus, is the belief that there is more to this world than what we see and what we experience right here and right now. Now, there are times when God allows us the opportunity to move past whatever ailment we have and be able to go into a life where we're able to proclaim who Christ is in so many ways that are more satisfying in that way. But oftentimes we don't. And the thing is that with healing is that we realize that the most important part of healing is our relationship with God. The fact that our soul is meant to have a deeper connection with who God is. Sometimes God is able to create that stronger connection through a physical healing, and sometimes it's meant to be something otherwise, maybe mental or emotional, or especially spiritual in and of itself. But the thing is that whatever does or doesn't happen physically doesn't determine whether or not God sees us as valid. And that's the thing about this, is to be able to go beyond the idea of being invalid and to be able to see that each of us is valid for who we are, particularly because Christ has given his life and then risen again. So this new life is meant to show us that we are meant to have a new life, that our healing is meant to be beyond what we see and what we feel, but what we experience inside and out. And so, as we look at opportunities to pray for others and to try to find ways to serve one another, let us remember that ultimately we want people to realize that they are healed in spirit in Christ Jesus. And let all other healings be a way to point to that.